Colorblind test. It's color, not color. Are you American by any chance? They may have created the language, but we perfected it. USA. Ireland didn't invent English. England did. All the Americans wanting to move to Europe don't. Why would I want to move to Europe of all places? Zero freedom. That's the spirit. America core. Super Bowl wins. 0. Proving their point. Super Bowl is American and only in America. When you try to be smart and put this instead. I mean, he's right. But the fact he's saying that in English and not in Chinese proves who's the most powerful country. Poor Americans, they only know one language. There's a difference between white Americans and Europeans. Yeah, America is the most influential culture of all time, and it's not even close. Europe does have incredible history and influence though. Can anybody tell me if Portugal has running water, like in the States? No, only walking water. Everything is slower there. We don't drink water in Portugal, we just drink wine. The guy who invented Fahrenheit. It's embarrassing to say it's so hot outside and talk about a low number, like 30. It's so hot outside, it's 105. That's a temperature with some chest hair. I'm gonna do a thread on weird things British people do. Y'all and your Celsius telling the temperature. Who the hell uses Celsius? Everyone but you guys. Did Spain not have power in the 90s? And they say Europe is better than America. They did. It means that people are outside and not on their phones. And exactly when did the orange man's country come into the convo? It's our world. Breaking. Georgia plans to submit an application to join the European Union on Thursday. Are states even allowed to do that? I hope you're aware that this tweet is about the country Georgia, not the US state, Georgia. That's like a regular serving of salmon. It's just your restaurant making that 8 scoops. Only an average amount in America. Europe hasn't heard of trying other cultures' foods. So yes, Europe probably doesn't have this. Just saw a job ad for a Latin teacher. Ad specified that successful applicant must be a native speaker of the language. Good luck with that. That's the language of 570 million people that speak in Latin America. Good luck for what? Not that Latin. Whoever reads this, why are you still awake? Is it insomnia? You're at work, just not ready to go to bed? What are the reasons? On my lunch break at work. How? It's only 4:38 a.m. Imagine the revelation when this guy finds out about time zones. Their life is gonna change. The USA has never committed a single war crime. America did nothing wrong. What war crimes did America do? Just asking. Every country has committed a war crime. We invented the car, you Euro idiot. Actually, the first 4-wheeled internal combustion vehicle was invented in Germany in 1886. The French army had a steam-powered 3-wheel vehicle in 1769. I think they're just wrong. Also, if you're going to be living here permanently, you'll have to start putting your dates in our order. It's March 19th, get it? American. Not right, but American. Tell that to the 4th of July. This is not tough. How many Super Bowls does New Zealand have? Football is an American sport. Why would New Zealand have a Super Bowl? It's pretty easy for New Zealand to win a Super Bowl. The US has only done it 59 times. I'm convinced British people just spend their entire lives trying to find mistakes made by America as a coping mechanism for losing an empire and being irrelevant. Yeah, this is what I do every day. As soon as I wake up, I'm just angry at America. I don't know what happens in America, but I'm Greek, and even though we have many suspicions, fast food chains in Greece, I've heard that some are actually clean. Wait, do Greeks eat hamburgers? That sounds like something only an American would say. Yes, I'm American, which means that for me, a hamburger is a familiar food. But you're Greek. Do you guys actually have fast food restaurants in Greece? Since when are fast food restaurants a thing in European countries? America has carried the world on its back for so long. Everyone should be grateful to the USA. The fact that this is how you guys think we act, but y'all roadmen just want to be American gangsters is hilarious. You're upset over a bit of banter. We know your schools aren't like Disney. Who would have thought everything in Europe is just smaller? Especially your guys' bank accounts. Did I hit a nerve? Because the egos in America clearly follow this rule. Regal Cinemas says that they sold 2.9 million kilograms of popcorn this weekend in their biggest Memorial Day box office weekend ever. What the hell is a kilogram? Use an actual unit of measurement, mainly a unit for drug weight, so it probably wasn't popcorn. My suspicions exactly. American influencer brings entire suitcase of Diet Coke on holiday thinking Europe doesn't sell it. Just because we've been around for 200 years and are better than everyone else doesn't mean we don't have culture. You have multiple different cultures together, making a larger, better culture. American has a vast and large amounts of culture. The way she didn't clean the chicken. Clean the chicken? Yeah, after taking it from the pack, rinsing it from the factory dirt, excess feathers, leftovers, etc. It's not recommended. Our chickens are clean before being packed. No leftover feathers. A drill bit worth 20,000 won. What's that in real money? You know, like USD? The USD is not a real currency anymore. What? That's why it's so much stronger than many other nations. That's like 300 $300. It's still expensive. Brother, what? 34,000 pounds is 45,000 USD. Most intelligent American. Just because these children were put into cages doesn't mean they're not free. They're still staying on American soil, which is free as it gets. As an American living in Europe, this is one of the reasons I'll never move back to the US. I really enjoy my 6 weeks of vacation here. How bad are the expat tax requirements? Don't you miss owning a car and being able to go on road trips? Also, you posted this online. Online was invented in the US. Maria, Tim Berners-Lee was British. Americans worry me sometimes. Celsius is the worst way to state temperatures. In no universe does 40 relate to high. As for the rest of the world, eventually the US will stop supporting you. We're going broke. You are stupid. Truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Infinitely better than the American way. Truth, justice, and a better tomorrow are the American way. I'll take the credit, thank you. I'm Australian, and I say the boys passed with flying colours. Oi, y'all spell colours wrong too. Cut the cord, let's spell it the right way like the rest of the English-speaking world. There are places that buy our literal garbage, spend 5 months shipping it across the world, to hopefully get it running again just to have access to a car. That's just another reason to love America. But China product have English language, like made in China, and the word made is English. So the China used the language of America. Stuff that isn't expensive. Only because Americans pay for the healthcare of Europe. Wait, they do? Wish we had Micro Center stores in Europe. It would be so cool. Laughs in American. There aren't that many in America either. Most have to drive for hours to get one. Laughs in biking distance. I'm sorry, what? Yes, because the World War started at year 1941. And yeah, I'm glad she survived. World War II started in 1939, not 1941. I'm noticing that a lot of people use military time on their phones, and I don't get why they're making their lives harder. Members, I have seen a couple of instances of the use of the term Karen in the group. Please be aware that this is a racist term and it will not be permitted anymore. Okay, Karen. What about man Karen? I'm not allowing the term, period. Why Japan? Anyways, what is there to do? There's a lot to do depending on what your interests are. Could be anime related, culture related, or even car scene related, or even all three. Anime related. Bro, who goes to a country for the culture? I didn't go to Slovakia to start wearing Slavic suits and start dancing. They expect us to like these EVs while forgetting how to spell favorite. Just one more reason I hate EVs. It is a Czech name of the car. They're spelled correctly in Czech language. Czech don't even speak English, so favorite is still used regardless. They do, bro. Speak, read, write, sing, and dream. Do they actually not? Because that's insane. I think just now finding out Americans don't measure paper by A4, A3, A2 has actually changed the trajectory of my life. My dude, all that might as well be Monopoly money value if you're not telling us how much in USD. I don't care to look up the conversion rate, so there's no baseline on how expensive that is. The world doesn't revolve around USD anymore. Wrong! USD has been the world's principal reserve currency since World War II. Breaking. China has stopped importing American beef, Australia filling the gap. The United States' $2.5 billion beef trade to China has come to a halt. Why was we getting beef from China in first place? How did I get 100 likes? Just because it's funny, maybe. My granddad fought in a war, so I don't have to care about what Italians did with their food. Pretty sure pizza is now an American thing as part of the terms of peace. Pizza, if you will. Looks very American. I don't know why. Americans are European. I live in America and I'm 3/4 Slovak. Opposite Europeans are Americans, but not all Americans are Europeans. Since mobility in the US is among the highest in the world, and yes, social injustice exists. It's sad, but transfers don't change that. It's ranked 27th. It's about the lowest of any developed nation. So Norway just called the United States underdeveloped. Imagine caring about what some country the size of LA County thinks. Japan charges a 700% tariff on American rice. That hurts our concerns since we grow 48% of the world's rice supply, in case you didn't know that. Not the world. In the US. What? It's safe to assume that European countries don't have elections, as they're too poor to pay for the patent rights for this great American innovation. Okay, this is bait. No way anyone's this dumb. I mean, more people use imperial than metric. The US is large population-wise, and it's more than the entirety of all metric countries combined. No one mentions China's measurement system, or Russia, or their qubits. Sorry to burst your bubble, but India alone have a larger population than the US, and they use the metric system. I'd rather receive false information. This might be the dumbest post I've ever seen in all of my years of reading stuff. I'd rather receive false information and keep my conservative views than receive true information and follow a socialistic agenda. Politics do be crazy, but I try not to worry about it. I keep my mind off it by watching football. What team? I'm a huge Manchester fan. Manchester doesn't have its own football team. They root for the Patriots, I'd assume. Love that the airport in Rome considers us a third world nation. Automated border control for USA and all other third country nations. What the hell is a kilogram? Those numbers mean nothing. Not everyone speaks American. Oh, I love it. Keep it coming. Frickin' kilograms. Right, I only measure in units that went to the moon, or at least can crush all opposition. Every time Harry casts a spell in Philosopher's Stone. First of all, it's Sorcerer's Stone, not Philosopher's Stone. No, that was just a change made by the localizing team who thought Americans are stupid. Do you think you guys are stupid? Entire high school baseball team in Iowa. Wait, is there another city called Rome that doesn't exist in Georgia, USA? I was watching Fox News and they mentioned Rome in Italy. I'm confused. Is there a Rome in Italy? NYC has better Asian food than Asia does. Best Chinese food in the world is Flushing, not Shenzhen. Legit question. Why, aside from China and North Korea, why don't other countries like Canada and Europe fly our flags? Don't they have a little bit of gratitude towards us? Fahrenheit is great for weather. When it's 100, you know it's damn hot. And when it's 0, you know it's damn cold. Once again, USA got it right. USA asked Lithuania for eggs after Finland and Denmark. Internet calling it door-to-door begging. Wait, you guys do know the lack of eggs is because of bird flu, right? This isn't some economic issue. We could physically buy Lithuania itself if we wanted. Bird flu has wiped out many eggs in North America. The Brits be really trying to mess up every word, supply teacher. Revise for a test. No, you see, it's not writing, it's authorizing. And to think that Europe didn't even have electricity until the Marshall Plan. Europe still doesn't have running water. If they suddenly banned football in the United States and rugby was the only option, the US would completely be dominant within 5 years. Incest is literally celebrated in Europe, so I'm not surprised at all. Where exactly? Because I think the song was Sweet Home Alabama, not Sweet Home Europe. Oh, I remember now. You don't know where Europe is. Quick, who was the Queen married to? Ah yes, the very famous Queen of Europe, of course, who got married in the 21st century and totally represents the norm. Bad Bunny announces New World Tour, which entirely skips the US. I'm sorry, but if USA isn't in the tour, then it's not a world tour. In Finland, the cost of a speeding ticket is determined by your income. A Nokia executive got charged 100k for going 45 and a 30. Sounds like socialism to me. If you find yourself in the US, you can negotiate your bill. Never pay the full bill. Your clock counts wrong though. It's 1 through 12. This was taken a while ago if that's what you mean. No, your time says 17 and there's only 1 through 12. Have you heard of basic 24-hour clocks? To be fair, US is sort of the breadbasket of the world, so everyone was basically voting to tell the US to give them free food. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but the context is king. I'm at the Hotel Imperial in Vienna, Austria. Almost 200 rooms, but the elevator has been broken for 3 days. Please don't bring European-style socialism to America. If you hate America so much, you really shouldn't be watching Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. Tolkien was British, and Star Wars had the US as the bad guys. I'm proud to say that my blood lost name is Bambini, and although my ancestry DNA gives me 0 Italian DNA on my dad's side, I'll stick with being quarter Italian. That's the most American thing I've read. American means anyone from the continent. Fine. You win. I'm a United Statesian. Pass me the United Statesian cheese. Do you think the Yankees will win the United Statesian League? Breaking news. Drunk Scottish woman at a soccer match acts like a drunk Scottish woman at a soccer match. It was rugby, not a football match. I couldn't give less than a steamy coiled thing either way. In America, we play real football and think both rugby and soccer are gay. Proof they both have women's teams, whereas our National Football League does not. I will, however, defend her right to be drunk, obnoxious and rowdy with her countrymen, because getting drunk and letting your rivals know you will mess their stuff up is shared pastime of ours. This guy is so cool. I'd love to just talk to this guy. Seems like a great person. Did you know our servers survive on your tipping kindness? 5 Americans, 3 Africans, 1 Russian, 1 Korean. Exactly. The only country in the world that actually values diversity. That isn't true. What other major power country has more more diversity among its population. I'm sure there are tiny countries with a few million out there, but not at the size of the USA. That's not what you said. Well, the UK have called it. Return of the village idiot. Serious question, why are Europeans so obsessed with us? Absolutely embarrassing. Not obsessed, concerned. We're concerned because whatever you idiots do have a direct effect on us. Our trade alliance, our defense alliance, and so on. Yawn. No, you are just creepily obsessed, I can tell. I go on through life and absolutely never think of you people. USA, 249 years. A young, dynamic, and experimental country. EU, old as hills. Germany, Finland, Austria, Ireland, Italy, and the rest. Who needs soft power when you have the #1 economy and #1 military? I don't think you know much about the economy. We're about to go into a massive recession. Your statement showcases the ignorance of the average American. British people need to calm the hell down with this. You're a third world country for a reason. Ride the wave. As an American journalist, you never expect, 1, your own government to lie to you, blah 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 blah. As an American journalist, you never expect mom's face to disappear when playing peekaboo. Where did she go? Wait, now she's back again. America has never lost a war. We just get bored and go home after a while. If we still took land and kept it as our own, we would own the entire world by now. Before and after photos of Dusseldorf, Germany. So sad, but a good example of the dangers of communism infecting the West. Non-Americans have read it. Would you want to move to America permanently? Yes. No. Results? It's the greatest country on earth, people. You don't want to miss out on living here. Italian-American inventions. Very delicious and original. Italian inventions. Note all, actually Chinese. Pupils use phone locking stations at Scotland's first phone-free school. There's a shooting, how do they call for? Who said anything about authentic? Authentic doesn't always mean better. US pizza compared to authentic Italian pizza, for example. US pizza is way better. Proud to be the pizza capital of the world. Okay, I have an idea to solve homelessness. It's a joke, right? The infrastructure needed for that kind of density would be incredible and incredibly dependable. It also looks like an incubator for a plague. It looks like a horror from some kind of sci-fi movie. Probably typed this on an iPhone or Windows or using Nvidia chips. You Europeans are so full of yourselves. Y'all are all learning English because of America. Italy is now the most infected country outside of China, but you can guarantee that people won't be avoiding pizza the same way they did with Chinese food. Pizza is American, though. Y'all teach kids French, Spanish, Latin, dead languages, but leave out ASL, a language used by millions of deaf folks alive and breathing today. Make it make sense. Pardon my dead French, but were you homeschooled by a pigeon? Signed, French Canadian. Still, the EU doesn't really have homegrown computer companies. At least none come to mind. But I agree, Apple hardware isn't cheap, and Europeans have, pretty sure I've read this before,